Hi everyone. So I normally don't do a live on Sunday. I normally chill and chillax, but people have been acting like a plum fool lately. More so the clear folks, the translucent folks, aka the white folks. So I'm addressing white privilege because it seems like these people have gone beyond their limit and it's just a bit much and they're just doing too much. So we all know, if you guys don't pay attention to politics, you normally don't have to, but there's a clip going around and went viral of pretty much Meghan McCain saying some dumb shit about identity politics. So pretty much what she said was addressing the Senators Tammy Duckworth and Senators Mazie Hirono, who will not vote to confirm Joe Biden's cabinet picks until there is an Asian American in the cabinet. When there are Asian American Pacific Islanders in the cabinet, which I understand, but I feel like they took too long to say something. But besides them taking too long, even though they have the right to not confirm, that's, they still want representation, which I don't blame them on that argument. So Meghan McCain decided to address that comment and be an ignorant Karen, as she normally is for the last 4 years on The View. Pretty much she said that is the Democrat Party all about race and not qualifications. So if a white straight male has the qualifications for the job, they can't be confirmed because they're not a person of color. Pretty much that's what she said. I'm translating what she said. So of course she was trending all day, I believe that was Wednesday, on Twitter for saying some stupid shit like that out of her mouth. She thought she was getting away. She thought she was low. No. But the reason why I am addressing white privilege and nepotism, because Meghan Marguerite McCain, the daughter of the late Senator John McCain of Arizona, is a product of white privilege and nepotism. She got her job because of white privilege and nepotism. If you really want to get technical, I'm going to go to her Wikipedia, and I normally don't do Wikipedia, but it seemed like some people have to be addressed for their ignorance, and so here we are. So Meghan Marguerite McCain, born on October 23rd, 1984. She's not that far from my sister's age. Is a conservative columnist, author, television personality. She works for ABC and she worked for Fox News and MSNBC. McCain is the eldest daughter of the 4 children of John McCain and Sidney McCain. She is not the eldest daughter of John McCain, though, because John McCain got like 2 older kids prior to her. She was born on October 23rd, 1984 in Phoenix, Arizona, and attended Phoenix Country Day School and Xavier College Preparatory, an all-girls Catholic high school. She appeared at the 1996 Republican National Convention when she was 11 years old. October 5th, 2003, McCain was presented to society at the Board of Visitors Debutante Ball at the Callenbach Inn in Paradise Valley, Arizona. She attended Columbia University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in art history in 2007. So she attended Columbia University here in New York and earned a degree in arts history in 2007. What does that have to do with politics? I have no idea. McCain originally planned to become a music journalist and an intern at Newsweek and Saturday Night Live. I wonder, how did she get those internships? Because of her name. She worked with her father. She launched a podcast documenting her father's presidential campaign, as well as musing about fashion, music, and pop culture. She wrote on her blog that she had changed her party registration to Republican. Not surprising. She says she also did so as a symbol of commitment to her dad, like I said, and a representation of her faith, and she has his ability to be an effective leader for our country, her father, and to grow and strengthen the Republican Party when he was elected as the president. But obviously, you know who got elected twice. She also has a book called Dirty Sexy Politics, McCain Talks, that she nearly overdosed on Xanax on the election day. And in 2008, she published a book titled My Dad, John McCain. And with her blogging, she said fathers among the Generation Y electric. By October, Steve Schmidt and other McCain staffers substantially limited her appearances on the campaign, deeming that she's too controversial. No wonder why she got that smoke for Steve Schmidt. I keep messing up his name wrong. Steve Schmidt. There we go. Steve Schmidt. Steve Schmidt, don't get mad that I pronounced your name wrong. But the reason why she got smoke for him was because she's out there tweeting and saying dumb shit that could mess up her father's chances of becoming president then. So Steve was right to do that. So that's why she's mad with him and Nicole, because they worked for John McCain. Nicole Wallace. She also began her writing at the Daily Beast, and then she also questioned Republican support from conservative author Ann Coulter. She compares herself to, she also, while Coulter did not respond, conservative radio talk show host Laura Ingraham challenged McCain's article by comparing her to a Valley girl. Obviously she is. And talked about her being plus size. So Meghan McCain got a lot of baggage, bad baggage. Pretty much she was awarded with the GLAAD Award for her work of raising McCain. And yeah, she's a nepotism child, pretty much. So the reason why I'm addressing Meghan McCain, because yesterday she was dragged by Tiffany, and yes, Jan, Tiffany did check her. She got checked because her comment about identity politics, like Democrats are only about identity politics, is bullshit. If anybody is a product of identity politics, an example of identity politics is Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain, like I said, is the daughter of the late Senator John McCain. She got her jobs in politics is because of her father's name and changing her party registration. Don't know what her party registration was before, but she changed it to Republican in order to support her dad and step in line with her dad. She worked for the Daily Beast. She had her own radio talk show host because she was the daughter of John McCain. She got her start on TV on MSNBC and Fox News, then ABC News on The View, because her last name is McCain. Now, I'm pretty sure there were tons of women, particularly Black women, Hispanic women, Asian American, Pacific Islander women who were more than qualified to be a co-host on The View that were probably Republican, conservative, or independent. The reason why Meghan got her job because of the name, her last name. And all she talks about when she's giving her commentary about politics is my father, my father, my father. My father passed this, my father did this, my father did that. She doesn't have that much experience in politics. Her only experience in politics, besides being a political commentator, was working for her father. And she didn't even do that much work working for her father because she was limited in certain appearances because of her mouth and the controversial things that she would say to hinder her father's chances of becoming president of the United States, which Sarah Palin did one hell of a job at that, but she was a controversial figure as well. So that is Meghan McCain's experience working in politics besides being a part of a political family. Just because you're a part of a political family doesn't mean that you are equipped to give your political analysis on the party that you belong to and the opposing party that you don't like. There are other conservative women that have more experience in politics, that worked for congressmen, that worked for that worked for presidential campaigns, that worked on other political campaigns, that could be on The View. Yeah, Anna Navarro, you have Tara Setmeyer, you have Sophia A. Nelson, you have Amanda Carpenter, and as much as I don't like this person, even Sarah Elizabeth Cupp, also known as SE, she is she's equipped to be on The View. You went from Elizabeth Hasselbeck, which I don't care for, Jedediah, who actually has experience in politics, to Meghan McCain. Are we serious? But like I said, this is nepotism. And Meghan McCain is not the only person that benefits from it. Abby Huntsman, who really doesn't have, I don't think she has too much political experience as well, besides the fact that she's the daughter of John Huntsman Jr., who is a politician well known in Utah. And we can also look her up as well. Abby Huntsman, born May 1st, 1986. She's the same age as me. Is an American journalist and a TV personality, the daughter of the former Utah Governor John Huntsman Jr. and Mary Kay Huntsman. Huntsman rose into prominence as a host of MSNBC and NBC News. She then became a general assignment reporter at Fox News and later a co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend. And she co-hosted The View from September 2018 to January 2020. Let's see. She worked behind the scenes, I guess, an internship at Good Morning America. I don't know when they're going to get rid of Meghan, Jamila. I hope they get rid of her soon. She interned for Diane Sawyer. Go figure. She later became a host and a producer of Huffington Post Live, the Huffington Post streaming network. She also was a frequent guest on CNN. She worked on her father's 2012 presidential campaign, which basically went nowhere because Mitt Romney was the nominee, as a media advisor and surrogate. She also worked with her sisters profiled at The New Yorker, The GQ, and BuzzFeed. She also worked as a political commentator for ABC News in Washington. She worked on The Cycle. She was when The Cycle was on the show on MSNBC, because it was Ari Melber, Torrey, Abby Huntsman, and Crystal Ball. They were all on the same show. I remember watching it. It was actually not a bad show. And she was filling the vacancy for S.E. Cupp, which went to CNN. And then she worked for Fox News back in 2015 as a general assignment reporter. And then she worked for Fox and Friends Weekend in 2016. And then she left Fox to join ABC, where she recently left in 2020 because she joined her father's bid for Utah governor again, and he lost that he basically lost that election. So Abby Huntsman is a product of nepotism. And then the last person I want to profile on nepotism is Peter Doocy. Peter Ducey, July 1st, 1987. He's a year younger than me. Is a conservative American journalist who was a White House correspondent for Fox News. He's the son of co-host, Fox and Friends co-host Steve Ducey. He graduated from Villanova University in Pennsylvania with a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science. And he also contributed to Fox News, one of the Fox News reporters. Ducey began his reporting career back in 2009 in New York City, where he covered a variety of stories that former Vice President Dick Cheney, heart transplant surgery. He also covered the floods in Midwest and Hurricane Sandy. He also interviewed the man who claims to fire and killed Osama bin Laden, Robert O'Neill. And basically, he rose from prominence in there. Now he works as a Fox News White House correspondent. So, Meghan McCain, Abby Huntsman, Peter Ducey are all products of what you call nepotism and white privilege. None of them never had a career in politics besides joining media. 2 out of 3 of them worked on their father's losing campaigns and then got jobs on networks because of their last names. And so Peter Ducey's situation is different. Peter Ducey's father is a co-host of Fox and Friends in the mornings from Monday through Friday. But all he had worked was Fox. So these 3 young people around my age get paid a lot of money with no qualifications, no experience at all, versus the experienced people who are around their age that has a long history working on political campaigns, working in Congress, working for representatives and senators and governors, and also worked in media as well, who have years of experience, and some that are older than me and don't even get the money that these young white people get. I mean, take it for example, me. I have a degree in business. I'm about to get my master's in business administration too. I don't have experience in politics, even though I have knowledge. Knowledge is power. But I have a whole career in nonprofit. So if somebody who is white, who just recently graduated with a degree in, I don't know, in English or communications, and we go for the same development job. I have experience in data and all the other areas of admin and nonprofit administration versus this new chick that comes in. She just got writing skills. Of course, they're going to pick her over me because 1, she's white, and 2, she fits the total package versus the black woman who has all this experience, but she's not a fit. There's a disconnect. So what I'm trying to say, and I know I'm talking in circles, what I'm trying to say is white privilege and white nepotism is what's wrong in this country, in our institutions, in education, and in the jobs, and in media. Like, it's so bad across the board. Like, white people today is still trying to hold on to the little bit of power that they have left because they know it's about to be an end for them, because the rising majority is black and brown people, including the Asian, American, and Pacific Islander community. That whole thing is changing. And white people are getting scared. White people like Meghan, white people like Abby, like white people like Peter Ducey, they're all getting scared. And they're protecting their interests. So when Meghan made that comment, said, so one of us gotta leave in order to put somebody of color on the panel, maybe you should leave. Because you have the least experience out of all the people that are sitting there co-hosting The View that have worked in media for a long time. There are more conservative voices that are more experienced than Meghan McCain. And all the women I named, only one was white. Because the rest of them are black and Hispanic. That can give a conservative point of view of how the Republican Party or how conservative independents think and vote and where the issues lie. Because Meghan McCain does not speak for all conservatives. Her talking points come from her right-winged husband who constantly lie and known to plagiarize. That's why he lost his job at the Washington Post. Mr. No-Neck Ben. Yeah. Who is also a child of nepotism as well because his father worked for the Bush administration. So, last names, when it's a known last name going into media, they automatically get the job before the most experienced person. So, that's the saying. Now, I'm switching gears because I know it's getting boring. So, progressives. Another example, the progressive white men decide they like to troll my comments on Twitter. So, as I said before last week, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, you should. I am Shantiz, is the same name. I said these following progressives are going to go through some things. Last week I had a list, you know, Brianna Gray, Ryan Knight, David Serrata, Marianne Wilson. The list goes on and on and on. Of course, you know, a whole bunch of people trolled my Twitter and say like I'm threatening people. They even try to get me kicked off of Twitter, but Twitter saw otherwise. So, pretty much is they try to get my whole account suspended. The account that I had for almost the last 12 years. I mean, I don't understand. If you know me, I'm not known to be a threatening person. But I will give you that smoke if you want it. And it seemed like Marianne Williamson, she wanted it. But she didn't get none. Katie Harper wanted that smoke, but I read her the filth. Brianna Gray attempted to wanted that smoke, but deleted the tweet that she quoted of mine because she didn't want that smoke. And David Serrata left his shit up there like a dumbass, knowing that I'm going to come after you, sir, and read you for filth. And Ryan Knight decides to take a picture of my tweet because he knew that I was going to come for him next. See, like, I know the moves of these quote-unquote progressives. They act like they're allies to black and brown people, especially to black women, and they're not. Their allyship is to the 79-year-old self-proclaimed democratic socialist who's been in Congress for 30 years and never got motherfucking shit the fuck done. Every law that he passed was with a conservative, mostly. He drew up 422 bills and 7 of them became law, including 2 of them renaming a motherfucking post office in the state of Vermont. Other legislation he passed was with John McCain, which it was more to veterans. So all the stuff that he's talking about on the campaign trail, he did not pass none of those fucking bills. I don't think he ever fucking put them on the goddamn floor, if you really want to get technical. Because if he did, you know, it would have been known. And Medicare for All is not his. Medicare for All bill was the late, great John Conyers, who was the representative of Detroit, in the area of Detroit where Rashida Tlaib represents for many years. So when progressives like Bernie Sanders take credit for shit, that really gets me tight. And so when these progressives try to troll me and try to educate me and try to tell me how black I am, MMA socialist, yes, that's you, trying to say I'm the wrong kind of black person, I think y'all really like need to check yourself, because y'all standing behind a lazy ass old white man who don't even give a fuck about y'all. And when he talks about poor people, he's not talking about poor black people. He's talking about the poor, white, angry men. He's not talking about them because he also said that all Trump supporters are not bad people. I'm sorry, when you're supporting a openly racist son of a bitch like Donald Trump, of course, I'm going to label you as a deplorable person. And when you vote for him again, you're showing where your allyship is, and it's towards him, and he's racist. So yes, Trump supporters are racist and complicit and ignorant for the black folks that support him. So the kind of black person I am, you guys can go somewhere and lump it. I want to say the other thing, but y'all might get mad and might report me because that's how much of bitch-ass punks you guys are. And for folks like Brianna Gray, who quoted my tweet and deleted it because she knew I was going to come for her, one, you're not invited to the cookout, and two, you're a whole entire punk. Because if you had the balls to step up to me, you would have at least, read me. And you didn't read me, and I'm still waiting for that read. But you're not going to read me because why? Because you don't have the balls to read me. Because there are a lot of evidence of you trolling people, and there's pictures for days, and people save those screenshots, baby. I'm telling you. You don't want this smoke. Ryan Knight. We still got the picture of Elizabeth Warren. Because you wasn't this, socialist that you proclaimed to be. You were progressive, but you wasn't no goddamn socialist. You was up Elizabeth Warren ass so much. So much. And then when she left, or before she left, when she started losing, you switched nitro on her. You went on Bernie's woo-ha. And then you trashed your fellow Warrenistas. And then you didn't vote for the Democratic platform. You voted for someone that only earned 3% of the vote. 1%. I don't know how much, but it was only what? He only earned 354,000 votes. Even the Libertarian candidate earned more than he did. How baffling is that? Even Jill Stein had more votes than him back in 2016 when she ran. And she was a Russian asset. I mean, come on. And you want to take screenshots of my tweet because you don't have the balls to read me? You a whole punk. But then again, you like to start with women as well. And I am very suspicious of men starting with women or try to read women. Because that raises some concerns. And with David Serrata. Like, who blocks somebody once and then unblock them and then block them again? Like, who does that fucking bullshit? Who does that? David Serrata is what, 43, 44 years old? With a wife and probably kids? Like, who does that shit? That's somebody like 25 years old do that shit. You're like almost 45 years old and you doing shit that young people do. And younger do. What kind of weak ass shit is that? But he's also another person that starts with women. That got problems with women. And yes, I question his masculinity because who picks fights with women? Online or even in person. In general, who does that shit? Who does that? Because that's bullshit. That's so whack. That's so lame. I wonder, does he pick fights with other women that he worked with or even with his wife. Because that sucks. And for those who are trolling me on my page that I question his masculinity, you damn right I did. Because no man in no world, no matter if he's gay or straight or cisgender, will start with a woman. Like, nobody. Nobody. None. That shit is dumb. That shit is whack, son. OD whack. And nobody, like, ugh. That shit is terrible. And also to the other progressives that are about to, you know, go through some things, along with the extreme right that will go through some things. You made your bed. When you decided to troll people online, troll black people on television, write books that make absolutely no sense, criticizing the political establishment, which some of y'all refer to black people and black voters as the establishment, grifting the people that you're supposed to be advocating for, that you're supposed to be fighting for. And now that 2020 is all over and Donald Trump is not in office, y'all have nothing to talk about. You try to criticize the Biden and Harris administration, but they already gave people their stimulus, and more stimulus money is on the way for those who didn't get their shit yet. So while you guys are trying to criticize and try to find something, scramble, everybody is worrying about trying to get through this pandemic, trying to get back to normal life, but very different, because shit ain't gonna be the same. I know that. So to you people, you grifters on the right and the left, your day is coming, because like my grandmother always say, every dog have its day. And I will leave it as that. But until then, you have a great night and be blessed.